Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome aboard to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Bob. And here I am, your sensei, your griot, in a undisclosed place. Um, and I have the ability to reach out to you and say, yo, what's going on? Love you. But you need to love yourself, right? So that means you have to be the decider. Don't let other people tell you what to do. Don't let other people tell you what's going on. And don't think this is scary times. Putin gave a speech the other day. Let's see if I can bring Jimmy Dore up. Jimmy Dore, you should check Jimmy Dore out. So Jimmy Dore and dark journalist and who else? A few others. They're YouTube channels. They're their own podcast. They're doing their own thing. And you shouldn't believe anything anybody says, especially your griot Sensei Bob here. And so, at 8:09 p.m. 26. So Buddy keeps going, well, that's good to hear from you. So I'm getting right back to you because you know I'm here for you. That's me talking to Buddy. So he wants to get a hold of my, I sent him a draft of a novel I'm writing. I just wanted him to read it and talk to me about the thing, but he kind of wants, the capability to take it apart, share it, send it to other people, things of that matter, right? Well, it's not a finished work. I wanted his, input on it. I didn't want it put out amongst the universe. And I'm happy to send it to anybody who wants to get a hold of me at the dudewake42 at Gmail, dudewake42 at Gmail, right? So come on, let's have some thumbs up. Let's get more people to subscribe. Then I'd be higher on the totem pole of the algorithm. But it's, but people don't understand. I'm not looking for fame and fortune, even though, it is with our economy being self-destroyed, Putin is not, destroying our economy. We are, right? Putin didn't cause us to move all our industrial strength out of our country and put it in other places. The transnational corporate world did, right? And the transnational corporate world, like GE, GM, Tesla, all you name any large, Exxon. These are transnational entities. They don't represent America first, right? No, not even close. And Donny Boy. Donny Boy is no savior, but he is no worse than Joe Biden. Definitely no worse than Obama. Definitely no worse than Georgie Porgy. Definitely no worse. No, he is far better than Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton had to be one of the worst presidents this country had because he decontrolled everything about our country that was put in place during the Depression to somewhat have a safety net. Bill Clinton is the guy who got rid of, he got rid of the safety net and he put, 15% of our population into jail. Thank you. And Joe Biden was the boy who did that for him, right? Joe Biden has been in the Senate, in the government for 50 years. He is not the solution of the problem. He is the problem. and he's, what do you call him? A Stepford wife, What I would like to see, somebody who would have really been interesting, and all we can ask for is someone interesting. So we got someone interesting, and moron redhead, what's his name? But he wasn't oh, he's our savior. He's so brilliant. He's no, Donny Boy was not any of the above, right? He's a shrewd person who looks only out for number one. I mean, he throws his family under the bus. So, you know, what is needed to be done is you are you there, you who are going to watch this later on, is the decider. You need to decide to help your neighbor. You need to decide to help yourself. I was 460 pounds. You know how big that is? That's like farther than I'm like about a fourth of the guy I used to be. Let's see if I can get a longer view of this. I'm in the dark area because my eyes don't like bright light. So I was that much bigger, right? That or even more, way out here, right? And what did it do? It gave me diabetes. It turned all the bones in my body into mush. I have Charcot legs. I have neuropathy. I have diabetic eyes. I'm basically blind. And, super duper high blood pressure, and I died. When I came awake, they wanted to crack my chest, do a quadruple bypass, and cut my legs off. What would I do it? So my body is damaged. There's no really until the big miracle occurs. It's not, But what I was able to do by becoming the decider was to get my body into homeostasis. So yesterday I went out to lunch with some friends and we went to a holler place that has pretty good cheeseburgers. And, everyone got a cheeseburger. And I went along and everyone had French fries and I went along and I went along with having a Coke because I hadn't had a Coke, a cup of soda in, 8 months. Now I've had little sips of it here and there, but not a whole, big 8 ounces, right? And I didn't have French fries. Now these French fries were good French fries, and this cheeseburger was good cheeseburger. So, if we're gonna have that stuff, we might as well have it good. So they were really hot and crispy and greasy and salty and I enjoyed them. And my that night when I took my sugar, it went up by 60 points. And that's in the morning it was 90, and in the evening it was 150 something. So it's not deadly. And this morning it was like around 110, right? So last night I took my cinnamon and turmeric, and so that's what I've been able to do is have a homeostasis, a balance of my body, right? And I can, people couldn't. I used to have to walk around. I first had to ride around in a wheelchair. Then I had to add metal clamps that went from my feet to my hips, right? And had those walking sticks that attached to your wrists, but now I get around. I used to not be able to see, and now I can kind of see. And this is because I decided. I mean, not that I did decide. I decided to do all that. It took me 7 years, 8 years to get to this. Right? That meant 8 years of not having to die for chocolate cake. 8 years of not having the same kind of food I had for 15 years with the Desperate Warriors. Of going down to a diet of about 1,200 calories instead of 30,000 calories, right? Because that's what I ate for virtually 10 years. 30,000 calories. I mean, that's some pretty rich food. And so I had spent a good portion of my life, in service to the betterment of mankind. And then I started businesses and made money, but not a lot. I'm still being an activist, still being an artist, still, basically serving Love's Co-Creation. And I never stopped doing that, or otherwise I'd be really dead. But I distracted myself with this other lifestyle, this other worldview, because I basically said, I spent a good 30 years, organizing, doing all kinds of things. Yeah, helping a lot of people, but still, it was difficult to see all of this sorrow. And as a photojournalist, I saw some pretty hard things to watch, right? And I was there. I was the documenter, the witness. And then, I became the itinerant scholar for about 20 something years. And I took care of my parents for 28 years. And after all of that, basically said, okay, sometime any minute now, we're going to toast ourselves, because I was right there observing, like thorium power. When I worked in nuclear power, I worked in Los Alamos, San Diego, Kirkland Air Force Base, right at the ground zero, Fermi Labs and Brookhaven National Laboratories in Long Island. And I was basically the guy, I wasn't like an engineer, but I was. I wasn't like, scientist, but I was. I was the one guy who they had there because he could talk to everyone. I was the good team leader, right? I was a good, why was Oppenheimer made the daddy of the atomic bomb? He was not the best scientist, right? There were all the other guys who were there, Einstein and Fermi, and Fermi is like a human computer, and Borg and a few other guys. He was a Borg, that's why they had the Borg. Who's there? Hold on, I'll be right back. Oh, you got himself in. Yeah. You see it out there? No? You out there? No. I'm out. You walk? What do you need? Oh, good. The ball is there. The hoop is there. Might just take the left. Yeah. But you got to go do something. Just in here. Ay. Anyway, some kids have come to shoot hoops. So, all the technology that's needed is here. We live on a planet of abundance, of the capital is here. If we can just cough up $250 billion for the Ukraine war, please. Right? And we have to realize we're being played. This war is not about it's not Putin's war. Putin is reading the script. He's just a player in the play, right? And he gets a better scene out of this. At the end of this, whatever was Russia will no longer be. It'll be Disneyland. Russia has more resources than anybody. Has more oil, has more gold, has more arable land. It has more chemicals. It has more, you name it. It has more of it. So, that's what the transnational corporations want. They want to take it, and not just, buy it from them. They want to take it over and turn it into their own little dreamland of whatever they think it's going to be. And if they can't have it, they'll nuke it, right? And that way, the price of everything else will go up, and they'll make even more money. While as the average guy who's watching this is like suffering, the corporate folk are making, Mr. Elon Musk made more money in the last 3 years than he ever did before, right? Same with Exxon, same with you name it, right? Mr. Rothschild, who owns all, basically Bill Clinton decontrolled everything so Mr. Rothschild could buy it all up on a nickel. So please, wake up. I do these things because I do them shamanically. Meaning, yeah, so, like yesterday's show. As it was running, it showed like 2 or 3 people watching. After I ended it and then, looked at the numbers at the bottom of the page, as my dad would say, basically, you know, 20 people were watching, right? And then when I dig into that number the next day, about 120 watching, but it doesn't show that on the front end of my algorithm. So I don't get the kind of, because not enough, I didn't have enough thumbs up. That's the thing at the algorithm, no matter how many people watch it, it's a thumbs up, right? Because this show, I'm on YouTube. The only reason here is because it makes YouTube money, right? Google, man, all these platforms, they shouldn't be charging us for them. We should be getting paid by them, right? And the unipolar corporate fascist world would work a lot better if they paid us, and they're going to. And that is the bottom line: is they're going to have us as a commodity, right? And that's how they treat us. And if we can't fit into their equation that way, and they just snuff us out. You look at Africa has all these resources. Every country in the continent of Africa that has resources are having civil wars, killing each other. Hutus, Tutsis, they didn't like each other. But England took these 2 separate entities and smushed them together before they left, right? Before they we're giving you freedom from our imperial, but they never really left. The government of England left, and basically those places in Africa were no longer their property, but they left British Petroleum and Shell and Exxon and Unicover and every mineral company in the world, basically owning all of their wealth. And that was called a democracy and capitalism, right? And open markets. There were no open markets. It was just that they took everything. So that's where we are today. And you are, that word, that N word, that white people think that black people don't like. Well, black people don't like white people calling them that N word, but black people know what that N word really means. It doesn't mean a black person. It means a stupid person. And what does Webster say a stupid person is? Someone who lets themselves be told what to do by an organization, whether king or church or bank. And I was at the UN when good old Nelson Rockefeller was there with good old Mr. Schwab and good old Mr. Rothschild, and they basically were at this conference about resources, right? And this is 1972, and they knew about earth changes, not global warming, earth changes. Global warming is just one of the situations that we're going to pass through. We are the place that's the warmest on the earth is the 2 frigging poles, North and South Pole. And they are melted, they are warmer than, and that's why the weather is so whack, is because the jet stream has totally changed. And why, Middle America and Europe are having ridiculous heat things is because that's what Africa was, right? Now, Africa has been totally turned into something almost alien, like from another planet, and terraforming. And that's why I keep saying, oh, the guys are going to land anytime soon now, right? And they will, because they've been re-terraforming our planet to suit their things. And what's going to happen is those two gigantic places where there's all this ice, like miles of ice deep, 20, 30, 100 miles deep, of these polar shelves, right? And they're going to not, melt in 100 years. They're going to melt in 5, 10 years. And the, coast will not flood in 50 years by a foot or two, but will be, whoop, covered up to the, middle of the Empire State Building with water. So everybody on the coast, good luck with that. If you aren't living at least 2,500 feet above sea level, you're going to be drowned. And that is going to flood very quickly. I mean, quickly to the point where once it starts getting moist, you better get in your car and get the heck out of there. But if you go, oh, it's just raining, it'll be okay. Or, oh, we're just having a little flood, it'll be okay. I love my house too much to, it's getting up on the porch. Well, it'll go away. That's you, because it ain't coming for you with a helicopters. And then when it's up at your porch, it'll be over your house by 100 feet in less than 2 or 3 days. And then what's going to happen is that's when the weather will really change. Because the shift in weight of all of that water is definitely going to cause polar shifts, because the magnetic field, which is keeping those things there magnetically, is already changed, and it's wobbling all over the place in the last 10 years. It's like they don't even, they used to have to tell everyone where magnetic north was, because everybody set their instruments for their airplanes and ships and stuff to that. Now they can't, right? Changes almost daily. They can it's around here, I mean, magnetic north is like in the middle of Russia, right? So that means what is Russia is going to become the north. It's not just going to be Russia cold. It's going to be nobody going to live there, right? And so that's kind of already understood. And Europe is going to become way, 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 way colder than Russia winter, right? So anyway, and you're all, I'm in my 70s, and I'll probably see that. But I'm in a place where, at least for the next 20 years, it'll be relatively survivable. I don't know about safe, but survivable. Right? And probably what will happen in the next 15 years, already the rich I've been talking about the rich are here and they bought everything up for nothing. Well, the really rich will come and buy those guys out. And by then somebody will give me a ridiculous check for my little deep green, and that's fine. Because I will go someplace that I won't mention, because then other people will go there. That will be more Goldilocks, right? Because there will be someplace on this earth that will be relatively survivable in a, I don't know, easy. The easy days are over. The Goldilocks period is, that was just about 1,000,000 years long. 60,000 years, 100,000 years was the Goldilocks period. Because if you look, if you go up there and there are guys in both poles drilling holes and taking core samples as fast as they can, because they want the data of what is going on this planet for 1 billion years. And up in that ice, before it melts, the next 20 years is the history of the last 1 billion years on this planet. And they want to, and they already kind of know it. They've been doing it. They're going for the bottom line data. And they also have other devices. I told you the story. Why did we go into Iraq in 91? Wasn't Kuwait? No, because Kuwait was part of Iraq. BP just put a line on the map and said, okay, this is a place that's now called, Kuwait, and it's not part of Iraq anymore. And it was right on the edge where all of Iraq's oil was. And they have this slant drilling. So I had all these drilling rigs in Kuwait, going sideways into Iraq's oil. Right? So there was not much about, and England made Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, all those things were English properties, and kind of set them up as what they were. The Balfour Declaration did that. World War One did that. The only thing standing in the unipolars' way was was two things: Russia and the Persian Empire. And World War One got rid of both, right? And basically gave both of those into the context of being the loyal opposition. So that's where it was, And so, hold on a second. I thought the kid would be right back, but he's not seeming to come back. So I'm going to close that door that I left open because this place is air conditioned, and I don't want it to just run out. I'm a guy who likes to conserve it. So you just stay right there. Get more people, Mr. One. Get one more people, and come on. Let's meditate. Let's pray. Who's there? Oh, Jamie. Sláinte, my friend, Sláinte. I'll be right back. I'm going to just close this door here for a second, or at least close it so it's not wide open. These guys trust me. They leave me here all by myself with this installation. But, I've been on the payroll for my whole life, so they know they can trust me. Life is fascinating. So give me your 20 of what's going on, what's fascinating in your life at the moment. Well, while I'm waiting for Jamie to cogitate on that, what's happening in my life is the weather around here is turning into, let's see, just popped in to say, what to say, okay. So around here, we've been in a dry spell for about 10 years. I mean, not like California or anything. I mean, it rains enough that everything grows and it's green. But we have gone back 18 years ago when I got here. This was a rainforest. And it would be, in the morning, it'd be foggy. It would burn off by 10. It'd be really sunny, blue sky, puffy clouds. By 2 or 3, your eyes are good. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they're not like they were when I was 20, but they sure aren't as bad as they were, 3 months ago. We couldn't see really anything. Now, one eye is like really sharp. The other one is, this eye is like 90% better than it was. This eye is 40%. Well, that's, it's 40% better, but that my eyes still have all the issues, but they're 90% better, 40% better, right? And they basically say that they will stay that way until I go blind or die. So that's good. I'm not going blind anytime soon. I'm definitely not going to die anytime soon because I'm here on assignment, right? I already died 2014, went up, had the party, they gave me the gold watch, and then my mentor, my master said, "Oh, you've been doing a great job, boy. I'm so proud of you." But I said, "What's the but?" He goes, "Well, you've done 89% of what you were sent there to do. You still got 11%. Now you can come home. You can die. You can be happy. We got the cake. We got the balloons. We got the funny hats. But that means you're going to, after you, had a nice vacation, and eons have gone by, you will be thrown back into the whirring blender of karma, and you will be popped out somewhere, right? I have no idea, what you'll be, where you'll be, but you'll have to finish up that 11%. Now, it may be real lot easier, like boom, done deal, right? Or that 11% may be another 10 eons, that's karma, and that's your dharma, whatever it is. But how to cut through that is go back now and finish up that 11%. I said, so what do you want me to do? Let me just get it done. Tell me what it is. We can't do that. So, boom, came back and, ooh, baby. I told the story, woke up on the gurney, getting my legs cut off and my heart crap. So I stopped that. I fixed myself up to a point where I am this. Took about 10 years. Let's see. Institute abroad. Dance. Okay. It's hard to say, but about it. It was just. Okay. So we're going to start a dance program. Institute promotes it's dance with some people challenge. Yeah. So that's a great thing, right? And so I had to get myself into this shape, which I'm at, and I am now starting to bump into people where I just fit right in, meaning they needed, they were like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Bing, I trip into the situation and, oh, look at this guy, and I'm back to that place where I can be of help. So I see that this is a path that I will just follow, and this is going to be my 11%. Don't know what it is. I mean, I know it's good. I know it's way, I enjoyed those last 4 years at the Deep Green, where all I did was read books and write novels, right? So, and anybody who, like Jamie, send me up your again. I can't. Somebody sends me something on my email, the dude awake 42 at Gmail, and they have their email. I can send them a novel, or I can send them this, or I can send them that, or I can write them a letter, or etc. And again, I have WhatsApp and a few other those kind of point-to-point things that we could talk. So it's basically up to you what you want. Now, when I send you a document or send you a novel or send you whatever, usually I send it as a gift, right? And so, or gift or whatever they call those things. And I know how to do that. And it appears there and you can read it, right? But you cannot edit it and you cannot send it to somebody else and you cannot say, this is your thing, right? But you can read it and then you can write back to me and say, wow, I really thought this was cool, or what are you nuts? Or why were you talking about this, right? And that's what I want, because these things that I've written in the last 3 years, they are not complete, they're not even finished, but they're ready for people to read them and give me insight. So I sent a couple of things off to Buddy, and he keeps saying, I want you to unlock it so I can. I said, no. I said, I want you to write back to me and tell me what you think about it. And he hasn't, because I don't think he's read them, So why should I let him, would I unlock them and let him to send them all over the place and do stuff with them? Oh, there's some other people who need to. No. You have to read it and talk to me about it. It's not done, not complete. Right? So anyway, that's that. So anybody who wants to read any of this stuff, but under those auspices of you read it, then you don't send it back, but you get a hold of me, we talk about it, and we, go back and forth, and back and forth. And then I can, still don't know how to do it, but I'll learn how to unlock it so you could, send, things, there's a whole way of an editing process of this thing where you can read it and then over here you can make comments about it, right? Well, I haven't figured out how to unlock that mechanism. So, that's how it is, you know. So first I had to figure out how to do that. It took me a while to figure out how to even send these things off to people, but I now can. So I know how to do that. So, you want to read this stuff and have a conversation with me about it. That's what I want, right? So I'm the decider. I wrote this stuff. I'll send it to you free of charge. Just read it. Tell me what you think of it. And we go from there. So, and I would suggest, Jamie, sounds like a great little thing you're getting into here, and that everyone else, look around your neighborhood. I live out in the middle of nowhere, and I stumbled into people who, oh, look at this. And I'm just starting to clip. I mean, they have all the loose parts to make something interesting. I'm just starting to, like, do you ever think about this? No, I never did. How about doing it this? Wow, that's a great idea. So I've been doing that for the last few days, and it's blowing these people's minds because I had been living like just down the road from them, but because it's in another county, which I'm just down the road from, it's like it's a different world. I had to stumble into their world. It's like a different dimension. I had to go through the doorway, and I did, and they were like, "Wow!" So, that's how it rolls. Ugh. Oh man. Ugh. So, what can I say? Um, JH on the mountain. What else? No one else is there. So, what time is it? Because I have to go meet some folks over in the church. I got another few minutes. Oh, so it's interesting. So things are a little more entertaining. A little, I'm interacting with a lot more people, and I keep, being right on my 20 with them, and they are amazed because they've been working so hard to doing X, Y, and Z. And I said, "You ever think of doing it this way?" And oh, good! I can't believe it. That's wonderful. Yes. So I'm getting a lot of that. So that's what I do. So, God has brought me into that flow. Obviously, that's 20 years or so, not doing exactly this, but this is just the first step into whatever I'm going to go into. So, anyway, sounds good to me. Everything's fine. I'm gonna mosey over and see where other people are, and you guys, you stay well. Maybe I'll talk to you tomorrow. Maybe I won't. Who knows? That's again, I have zero cash. Yes, this new universe came in. Now they're feeding me, and they're bringing me to different things that probably at some point might bring some finances. But I'm not saying, well, I'm not going to say anything unless you pay me money. No, I'm just like doing it, getting them to, because to get into a place where you're being taken care of and appreciated that's great, right? And then the next step is where they can't live without you, and that's when they said, well, we'll pay you this. I mean, that's how I got when I got into the corporate world. That's what happened. I kind of did a number of things that I can't believe we did that. That was so amazing. We have 100 people working on this thing, and he just fixed it. So, and that's when I started to get paid pretty well. So I'm slipping into that. But this scene is more interesting because it's not the corporate world; it's more the people. And it's, I mean, the corporate world was the people world too, but they thought they were it and eat people. So they really are appreciative, and I speak straight to them. And part of the thing was, again, my negotiating skills. I can speak to everybody, right? And this type of person, that type of person, then get them on the same page, and wow, this is working so much better. Right? So, and I've only been doing this now a week, so we'll see what happens. But I'm having fun. I'm getting fed. I'm being chauffeured around. So because I have no money for cash, I have no cash for gas or for food. These people are driving me around and feeding me, so I can't complain. And so they eat, the burgers, the fries, the pizzas, and I'm saying, okay, I haven't had one of these, and I said, I haven't had a soda like this in 8 months. They were like, what? And they couldn't believe it. And this one guy met me the other day who I had known for a while, and he knew me back in the day when I didn't really live here, when I was, around 400 pounds. And he saw me. He could not believe. He said, what? How, what? Who? You look great. I said, he goes, usually some guy who's lost as much weight as you have, you're next to dead. But you look great. You look like you're, and he knew how old I was. He goes, you look like you're 35. If you cut that beard off and, cut all your hair off, so you would look 30 years old. I said, yeah, but then this way I get the continence of being the old wise guy. And so I'm going with that for a while. I may, cut that off. And so it's all good right now. And it was all good when it wasn't all good, right? Because that's how I got into this state, is that instead of me going, oh, it's so terrible, I was like, hey, this is great. I love the life I have because I wasn't, yes, I have a lot of things wrong with me physically, but I have homeostasis, so everything's great. And every morning when I wake up and scream pain, it's a blessing because it makes me realize, hey, I'm awake. I'm still alive. And there's one guy who's like really enamored with me, not in any other way than I am just fixing every problem he has, and he can't believe I'm doing it. They keep bringing me to all these more people. Now, I don't think he's real. I mean, he has this position of power and control and whatever because he's a really nice guy, and his stick is the kind to play the Andy Griffith kind of guy. But he's the smartest. Everyone knows that's why they put him in charge and of things that they need to have fixed and done and taken care of. And he does a pretty good job at that. But it was like getting to this point, and I just showed up, and I relieved all that pressure of all those things, and it was quite interesting. And everyone is like unbelievable, and there were different groups vying for this and that. Just in a week, I've got everyone like this. We love everybody, everybody. So it's good to be in that position, right? It's I have no stress on me. At the worst, I could just go back to the deep green, enjoy heaven. So, but this is fun being chauffeured around and given interesting puzzles to fix and access things that I don't have access to, and with opportunities to move interestingly forward. So that's what I'm doing. I'm still writing and doing this. Has been. It's not that I had a writer's block. I was enjoying sleeping in late, waking up at 10 or 11, making whatever I could find in the ground and make that into a meal and moving forward from there. So anyway, that's it. It's about time for me to go on to my next meeting. Yep. And I'm going to go check it out and see what's up. Okay. Love you guys. Love you. Love you. Anybody got anything else to say before I go? No? There's two of you watching. Hello, two of you watching. Remember, I need something in PayPal. Yes, I have this, but I have Zip Cash. It'd be nice to have a little cash. Buy some new socks or something, How about some thumbs up? A little more thumbs up would be great. What else can I say? Have a good day. I'm having a good one. Can't complain. And I was had lunch with a friend of mine who this was his 17th day. I mean, he kind of relates to the fact that I died in 2014. And he died 17 years ago, And mine was like 8 years ago. And pretty much the same kind of thing. And so he is. And so today was his celebration of 17 years ago. He killed over, and he everything lucked out. Meaning, he was in a funky neighborhood, and if he had been driving a car instead of like sitting there talking to somebody, he would have crashed and died. That person was a person who was a fireman, had the always had this little CB straight up to 911, no matter where he was. He knew exactly who to call, and they brought the right equipment and the right ambulance and took him to the right hospital. And just by chance, the best doctor in the world was coming to that hospital to show up a product of his process, and that and my friend was the poster boy of what his process was invented for. So, he had the only doctor who could have saved his life was right there. And because everyone loved this guy, the one doctor in the world who could save his life was there. His team who could, was there. The hardware was there. And still, after he did everything, he went out and told his wife, listen, yes, he's really lucky that all these things have happened, but he's in bad shape, and I don't think he's going to live. So really prepare yourself for him to die. If he lives, well, that's a great miracle. You can pat me on the back and tell me how great I am. But just telling you, I'm an honest guy. He's not out of the woods. Yes, he's still alive. He's really lucky, and he came back like gangbusters. And because virtually half the state of Tennessee was praying for him. He's that kind of good guy that everybody, once they heard that, he had this, problem, heart problem, that they just tripled down. Everybody was playing, right? So he came back because he had stuff to do, right? And then he met me, and got a whole different idea. That's a number of years, and so it's all like kind of falling into place, and that's great. And whether it stays in place and gets better and better, or it comes apart and then comes back and does something else, I am not having any expectations. I'm just doing my best moment to moment, right? That's what you should be doing, right? That's why I do this YouTube. I'm here to be your griot, tell you stories, be an example. And I'm not an example of your life. I'm just an example of my life. My life is a good representation of what you could be doing with yours, right? Not just like me, but like you. You are the decider. Go do what you want to do. Don't let anybody tell you what to do. Don't get scared by, stop watching. I live in a place, no TV, no radio, no internet, no nothing, So I'm not worried by it. When I do watch it, I just go like this and say, this is like ridiculous propaganda, right? So everything you see on CNN, Fox, whatever, they're all the same. So I'll catch you guys later. Love you.